Hello and welcome to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura and I'm going to do a general message, obviously for Virgo. You know that energy is fluid, so roles can be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates for you. Now also know if you're new to the channel, anything of any importance you can find in the description box. And also that I specialize in shadow readings. So I do look and see what's going on in your life, but I like to focus on your spiritual blocks and how they play out karmically within your relationship so that you can figure out what you could do to actually shape shift your situation. See, there's many different realities that play out at one time. Your level of consciousness will depend on the type of karma that you create. So you potentially have the power to avoid toxic relationships. You have the potential to heal relationships. Again, depending on what you do. Now, if you're new to the channel and you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, all you need to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the day in your comment bar. The word of the day comes from my Psychic Soul Healer deck. This deck is made for healing the shadow aspects of ourselves. There's over 100 different shadow healing exercises, teaches you how to deepen your meditation and reflection practices, as well as do psychic readings. So it's a multifaceted deck and system. All right, the word of the day is going to be two words, the genius, and you're just going to write the genius in your comment bar. Now, the genius part of self is the God part of self. That's the spirit part of self. That's of unconditional love. This part of ourself is what connects us to each other. It's the energy that we recognize from a soul relationship. It's also, like I said, our creative energy that allows us to have this supernatural power. So again, we're going to see how this energy is, why it's showing up in your reading. And we're just going to put it over to the side. Okay. Now, let's just look and see what's going on in your connection. First card out is Two of Wands reversed. Ace of Cups upright. That's too many. Well, sometimes it takes a little while for it to fall out. Okay, King of Cups upright. The Moon upright. I'm just going to choose just one more to see what is going on in your situation. And that's Strength upright. Okay, so just so that you know, the Two of Wands, the Ace of Cups, King of Cups upright, the Moon, and Strength. Take a minute, second. So what I'm feeling, Virgo, is that you're in connection with someone that doesn't know how to approach you, that doesn't know how to communicate to you, that feels a little inferior to you. I also feel as if you had a falling out with this person. So there's a real lack of strategy. This person is used to people coming to them. This person is used to not putting in any effort. So they've almost exhausted themselves from thinking about the connection so much that they're actually reflecting on it for the first time. Now, you may be in separation from this person for a week, a day, a few months. They never really looked at it until now. So I feel as if you have disconnected from this person because this person was not emotionally. They acted as if they didn't care. So I feel like there is no emotional mastery with this person. They're actually working on it. They're seeing what they did, how they treated you. And what they're seeing is they didn't give anything. Now, for a long time, they knew that, but they're kind of in denial about that. I feel like this person has a big ego. I also am feeling as if they thought that you wouldn't really know what they were doing. This person thinks that they're slick. They're used to strategizing. They're used to manipulating in relationships. And so the thing is, they would almost rather walk away than humble themselves. The problem is that there's an invincible force, and that invincible force is unconditional love. So I do believe that this is a soulmate. I just believe that, again, that they were karmic. They were a karmic mate, and you walked away from them. So let's actually see why you walked away from them. And then we'll look at the hidden truths. And then we'll see what they're actually going to do. And if there's any blocks, we will be able to see how we can transmute those blocks by what spirit tells us to do. Okay, grieving. So they're grieving right now. And I'm feeling like when they tried to like enter into a relationship with you, they were still either connected to someone else or that relationship was coming to an end. I feel like this person has a long history of bad relationships. So they tend to be commitment phobic. And I'm feeling like, again, they were in the process of ending a relationship. And even if they weren't head over heels or madly in love with this person, they did create memories with this person. So it's more like they reflect back. If they had children with this person, they're thinking about when they had children. They're thinking about when they made their home. They're thinking back to happier times. And so they were grieving, so they couldn't really give you the time and energy that you deserved. And I feel like before then, they weren't really looking for this type of serious relationship. So they tended to like run around. Problem is, I feel like this person came to you a lot sooner than they were ready. It's like almost like pieces. They told you pieces of their situation. So they left out a lot of information because they didn't exactly want you to move on. This person wanted to kind of keep you stuck because they didn't really know what they were doing. So they were still grieving and not really giving you enough. And again, not thinking that you would notice. So they misjudged you. Possibly because you're very nice and you're humble, and maybe it has to do with your job. Some of you were nurses, some of you were therapists, some of you were healers, so caretakers. So their perception of you. And also a lot of times perception is based on who they dated before, right? I mean, perception comes from what they know. That's what shapes our perception. So this person has a big ego and also has dated people that were lower hanging fruit. I'm just going to put it at that. They were easy access people, people that were here for a good time, not for a long time. Ruins. And so there is a sense that they're afraid to contact you now because, again, of the fact that they know they ruined the relationship. And I actually feel like their life is in ruins because their last relationship ended, and there was a part of them that I feel they thought that you were always going to be there. So this person didn't treat you well. They kind of, I'm feeling like, may not mean to, but use people, you know, for their emotional support, but then they don't give anything. They're not used to having to give anything. So I want to look and see what the hidden truths are, because just because a person, like you said, they're realizing that there's a pull, they have a pull back to you. And they, like I said, they're reflecting on what they did. So it wouldn't be surprising if I see some regret cards in here. But let's just take a look. You came closer than anyone. I'm feeling like this person feels as if they can't be in a relationship. I'm starting to understand our connection. Okay, so they still can feel the soul's connection. I know I was a distraction from your pain. So apparently this person feels as if like maybe you weren't living to the maximum of your ability. Maybe because you were connected to a bad relationship. Maybe because you just got out of a relationship. But it was almost like because you gave this person time and they didn't give enough, they don't really feel as if you really cared as much for them. Remember, they have a distorted perception of what they believe a person needs to do if they really like them, which is kind of degrade themselves, chase after them, give them all the love and attention and receive nothing in return. So because they're used to it, again, going for lower hanging fruit. So like I said, they feel like you talk to them maybe because you were distracting yourself. Yeah, there was a connection, there was attraction, but they don't really feel like you're that serious. And possibly because you're not giving them any time now. You've left because they weren't giving you anything, because they were kind of grieving over someone else. So, like I said, they're not fully understanding what has transpired, which is again why they're reflecting on it. I can't stop thinking about you. So this person says in their mind that it's over, but there's a part of them that's still like, I can't control how I feel. So they don't like this because again, they're used to having a big ego, doing what they want. They don't like to get close. Even the relationship that they're getting out of wasn't a good relationship, I feel. It's just they spent time. It's more, again, about the memories that were made from family and outside things more than the actual relationship. Also belonging to something. Your person, like I said, is not really the commitment type and didn't really believe in love because they've got hurt, possibly because they were in that relationship connected to someone where there really wasn't love for a long time. So they got cynical. And so the thing is, they're in separation. They know that they haven't treated you right. They can't stop thinking about you. And what they're realizing is that they can't shut it off. So they had made the timing just wasn't right for us. Now they're kind of saying to themselves, well, maybe the timing wasn't right. And this is how we know when a person really does love. When a person that is a low vibration, lower vibration, not coming from their truth, they tend to breadcrumb. They tend to have a big ego. They tend to want to treat you a certain way so that you perceive yourself a certain way, and so that you perceive them a certain way. This person is really imbalanced because when you're in a relationship with a person that's coming from their truth, they don't strategize. They come from their heart. They speak and see things from their heart. This is not your person. They're not good with that. They don't like the vulnerability due to past experiences. They made a choice that they were not going to be with you. They walked away. Problem is that now they can't stop thinking about you, and now they're like, and being like, well, maybe the timing wasn't right. And that is what happens when there's unconditional love. What it shows is that your person got really mad because things weren't easy. Things weren't going their way. They acted like a baby, and now they have mud on their face because they see you're not coming back. And what they realize is, I love you. Instead, so they kind of had to like demolish this connection fully in order to even recognize the importance of the connection. Okay, so let's see what they're going to do, or if there's any other spiritual messages. We're going to just use a different deck. We just want to, again, see what are they going to do, if they're going to do anything. And mental health. Your person is so stressed out. I feel like, again, relationships trigger them a lot. So it really makes them get out of balance. I feel like they also have a lot of trauma around relationships that they just have not healed, never heard about healing really before, doesn't understand it, comes more from a very logical and analytical perspective. You inspire me in so many ways. So you are a soulmate. You're showing this person a different way to live. So again, they're reflecting on their life, which understand when a person normally has a big change in life, that is when the twin flames come together. Usually the two parties actually have big changes coming in, like transitional points within a person's life. And it could be going through a divorce, being married to someone that passes away. It could be, again, a big like turning event in a person's life. And that's when the soulmate twin flames come together. And there's always a runner and a chaser. And what I'm feeling with this energy is twin flame relationship, almost because you're their muse. You're the catalyst to make them do the journey into their heart. Take the journey into their heart. I want a new beginning with you. So this person wants a new beginning with you. Okay, so just because a person wants a new start with you, that doesn't mean that they're fully healed. So we're going to ask, because understand people have karmic patterns where they continue to do the same things, have the same behaviorisms to produce the same outcomes. So, and if your person has trauma, we want to see what are the behaviorisms that you most likely will have to deal with if you're going to be with this person, and what shadows would awaken within you, because we get our twin flame and our soulmate not just to help us step into the truest version of ourselves, but to awaken the wound, the suppressed soul wounds, the inner child wounds, the shadows, to help us integrate them. Unconditional love allows us to do that. Again, what we see here is that your person was like, no way, I'm not dealing with it. I'm going to walk away. I'm fine. I didn't even give you a thought. And they, again, what they see is, I can't walk away, and I really do love this person. So Spirit says they have unconditional love for you. And there's reasons why. You're not just a pretty face. You're their muse. You're inspiring them by the way that you live. So you come from a different cloth. So, and they're not used to this energy, and they're also not used to feeling the depth of this type of connection. So we can see already like why they would get overstimulated. No knowledge and wisdom. So again, your person like was ignorant to understanding about love from a spiritual perspective. We see knowledge and wisdom, we're talking about the higher perspective of what unconditional love is. Unconditional love is forgiveness, it's compassion, it's all, again, these higher character traits. Your person's used to being in toxic relationships. That's why they're so strategic. That's why every relationship winds up bad. That's why they have commitment issues. And they intuitively feel as if this relationship with you would work because they observed you, and possibly because they walked away and acted a little bit foolish, like they didn't put the time and breadcrumbs, dated a lot of other people, and can now see the difference between you and those other people. So like I said, they, by not just what you say, but you are the example of what unconditional love is. That when things didn't work out, you didn't create drama. You didn't yell at this person. You didn't judge this person. You just released and let go. And that's another reason why they didn't even put that much time and effort into this. But then, like they said, after they dated and saw the difference, now they're like, I really like this person. I really love this person. So like I said, if you know half the information, you're not going to make the right choice. And that's in anything. If you walked into a murder crime and you only had 2 clues, would you know who killed the person? No. Well, it's the same thing. The person knows you, but they never really got to know you. So they were treating you like how they treat everybody else, and they have a big ego. Lies, illusions. So again, I'm feeling like your person may have an issue where they lie because they don't have good confidence about themselves, especially in relationships. So relationships trigger them. So it wouldn't be uncommon for this person to try to make their life look a little bit better than it actually is, for them to not 100% tell the truth. I feel like they were in a relationship with someone that they had to be strategic in. So lying tends to be a habit. So just because they're out of the relationship with someone, they get into a relationship with you. If they get triggered, they may lie. This may be something that needs to be worked through, where again, they would grow out of it by you not reacting every time they told you something that you didn't like. What this means is a lot of times people are trained to lie because they're afraid of the consequences. So if your person has a lot of spiritual blocks with the relationships that have been in their life, they don't feel good. So like I said, they're not good communicators. And I feel like they get bad reactions from people. So they just try to avoid. They don't want to deal with the consequences. Now, for you, I'm going to put this card just back in to be fair, both of them, and we're going to see what your spiritual blocks would be. Loneliness. So this person, again, could trigger you in a way that you're emotionally not getting what you need, because like I said, they've only been in toxic relationships. And as I said to you, they're not used of the connection, the depth of this connection. The fact that they don't have control, that they still have emotions. They tried to walk away several times. They never experienced that. And the fact that they're used to getting everything their own way. And remember, when they walked away, they had a big ego. So they tend to be selfish and care more about themselves. So you may be triggered in feeling like lonely, but because the relationship isn't as deep as you want it to be. However, if you give the relationship time, you will see this person's love language emerge. We all have different love languages. It wouldn't be uncommon for you to have a soulmate twin flame that expresses their love through a way that is not your love language. Learning what unconditional love is that we tend to feel that people should act a certain way and do things a certain way. But we have to have more compassion and learn compassion and learn to be patient and allow someone, our person, whoever, to have their own unfoldment process so that they don't have to fear and lie and create illusions to make themselves feel better and accepted. We have to learn to accept. And if you do, you will build emotional strength within your connection between the both of you, because unconditional love is there. And this is a divine connection. So you will feel love. Now we're just going to ask the universe, what little tidbit can the universe tell us that would help us in this connection that we have, knowing that, you know, things were a little rocky in the beginning, that our person isn't 100% healed. We may not be 100% healed. Everyone has triggers. Everyone has wounds. What wounds, we know what wounds can awaken within us, but what is the healing message? What can we do to like counter out and balance this session, this energy? And we're going to pull 2 cards. Okay. Serenity through love, release, and inner work. I know peace. I have a gentle view of life and welcome every step with confidence. I remain brave in the face of fear and have the wisdom to let the universe do its work. So I feel like for you and this person, it's actually serenity, because through love, release, and inner work. So the inner work, your person is triggering your wounds, and you would trigger this person's wounds. So that the awareness will allow you to do the inner work. The unconditional love that that person has for you and you have for your twin flame allows you to actually stand in the unconditional love to help you release, to help you transmute that negative energy. We know what unconditional love is. When we get triggered, we have to, again, realize that that's something inside of us that needs to be healed, and that you deal with it through confidence and you remain brave in the face of fear. And that's especially for your person, because again, relationships trigger them. And let the universe do its work. This is a divine connection. The universe has brought you this person, not just for them to help heal you and you to heal them by creating the awareness, but for you both to give each other unconditional love, to learn how to surrender and not need to control, which a lot of times happens when we need healing. We tend to want the control. Where spirit's saying, no, no, let the universe do the work. It's already brought you 2 together, and we already know that it's awakened some of the traumas that made you both do healing. Definitely made your person do healing. They're doing it now. They're reflecting on everything. They're having new realizations, and they're changing their behavior. Where normally I don't feel like this person ever comes back and apologizes, never felt like they needed to. So they're learning. And you are learning, again, about forgiveness. Okay, and everything turns to light. I work to improve myself. I embrace all that life brings to me and transform darkness into light. I allow myself to grow and become stronger. So this is, again, about transmuting your spiritual blocks. I work to improve myself and embrace all the little things that life brings to me to transform darkness into light. And again, one thing would be this person helping you to create awareness. So when we are able to look at our relationships from a higher perspective, what we're seeing is the real reason why they're there. We're learning the real traits of what unconditional love is. And we're actually also observing where they are inside of us so we can transmute them, so we can step into the best version of ourselves and help the person that we're connected to, our twin, step into the best version of themselves. And a lot of times to help create, to birth something, because the passion that the soulmate twin flames have, eventually, once they heal themselves and maintain spiritual equilibrium within the relationship, they birth something, because they really get to learn the other spiritual traits of compromise and learning to listen, and like a lot of, again, things that we didn't learn in childhood. Again, if you grew up in an environment that was traumatic, maybe where your parents were so consumed with their own problems, their own needs, or whatever, what was going on during that time, well, then it's not uncommon that you wouldn't know what unconditional love looks like. We all have our own expectations of what we perceive that it is. So this is why this relationship is happening. And then when we realize that, every time we get triggered, it's so much easier to become the witness instead of react. Doesn't mean that we don't feel it. It means that we take a big breath, we accept it, we realize that we're human beings down here, we're spiritual beings having human experiences, and that those experiences are difficult, they're emotional, but the people that come into our lives help us. All right, I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye. Oh, and if you resonated with this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.